So my lesson plan is about diversity. I decided that we're going to discuss diversity in the classroom because I teach in a bilingual pre-K classroom, and I thought that it would be in my best interest and the children's best interest to talk about who your friends are and why. Um, I chose this book. It's called The Colors of Our Skin, and it is in Spanish. Um, I speak Spanish, so reading this book in Spanish is not a big deal, and I can also translate it. So I would translate this book for the students, um, and kind of give them both. And a lot of my kids are still code switching, so it also gives me opportunity to point things out to them, um, using both languages. Um, Possibly, I would differentiate by doing it in two different groups. So probably do it with the Spanish group and then do it with the English group, whichever works. Uh, so basically, this book is talking about the different colors of skin, especially in Latin American culture. You'll find a lot of different, a lot of people in Latin America look different. You'll have some white, you'll have the Indian looking ones, you have the black looking ones. So this talks about all the different colors of skin that they, that are in this country. Um, and she describes their skin with these different paints and stuff like that. So I thought that would be really good. So therefore, without actually reading too much, because I don't expect everybody to know Spanish, but what I would do in this book is basically I would start with a whole group, and I would introduce the lesson with talking about who our friends are and why those are your friends. This is something that probably towards the end my pre-K students will probably be able to do. Kindergarten, they'll probably be able to do it like a lot sooner. So I am gearing it towards pre-K, but I think it could be also done in kindergarten. And with the pre-K, if it was a pre-K lesson, what I would do, I would read the book, and then I would have the students draw pictures of their best friend in the classroom, or somebody that they really, really, really love in the classroom. And then if it were in a kindergarten classroom, I would probably have them write about why they like that person, and then draw a picture. So like probably have like one of those a paper with lines, and a box above to talk about the person that you know is your best friend, and why you love that person, and why that person's your best friend, or whatever the case. My goal with this book would be to get the children to talk about the different people in the classroom that they love and why. Um, so this is basically would be an ELA. I would have them draw the picture of the person that they like, and going forward, this would probably be something I would do in Hispanic Heritage Month. And I think I can also do this in Black History Month as well, because there's a girl here who's black, and I just feel like I want my kids to understand what skin does not necessarily represent if you're, what your background is. There's black people all over the world. There's white people all over the world. There's white people in Africa. There's white people, you know, in in China. Like it doesn't really matter. So my goal here would just to kind of increase my students' awareness of skin color, and show them that there's people of color who speak Spanish too. And so that would be the basis of the lesson. But the children also get the aspect of being able to communicate. They're going to get the writing aspects, well, the drawing, but mostly because they're not really ready, depending on how much if they can write. I have students who can write, so if they wanted to write, I'd let them write something. It also would depend on the on where we are in the year. Right now my students can write their names and they can write a little bit, but this is something later on in the year that I would think be really, really good for them. And also, what I like about this book is that they get both languages. And even if I'm translating, they can understand. And the Spanish children would really feel, they love when I speak Spanish and I read into them in Spanish because it makes them feel comfortable as well. So basically, this book, I think, for my lesson plan, is excellent. It gives the students the opportunity to learn about other cultures, especially in Latin America and the Caribbean and whatnot. Um, After the closing would be basically having the children talk about why that person's at their best friend, why they love this person, and things like that, if they're able to communicate that. Um, Also, in kindergarten, I probably have them do the same thing if it were a kindergarten lesson. For purposes of this lesson plan, I am gearing this towards pre-K. Um, it will have all those aspects in it, pretty much ELA lesson. A little bit of social studies because of the cultural aspect, but the main focus of this book is for diversity and to push the aspect of diversity, especially at that young age. I think that they need that aspect because after they leave school, I don't know what they're experiencing. So I want to make sure that I have a classroom that's all inclusive. Everybody feels represented, and this book represents everybody because if you look at the cover, you see all types of people, and they're all Hispanic. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of that. And so to introduce this kind of topic to the kids at a young age is phenomenal. And that's basically what my lesson will be about. It will start off as whole group, and then it'll break off. They would do their pictures. After they do their pictures, they'll talk about it. We'll have some children talk about it, and then going forward, we can have a whole week. It could probably be like a whole week of Hispanic heritage and the different cultures within Hispanic heritage. There's a whole African group in Guatemala that I could, talk about during Hispanic Heritage Month, but I'm not sure if they're called the Garifuna. But I just want to be able to show my children the different aspects of Latin American culture and the African influence, the European influence. I don't think that gets spoken about enough in the classroom. And this book is for children. So I think this would just be great to share with them. They get the opportunity to talk and communicate and write and be able to get their thoughts together, especially my children who are still learning to code switch. So that's my lesson. I'm glad I had the opportunity to share it. I will share also the lesson plan. And that is all. Thank you.